Hang on, everyone. Well, it looks like this one's stuck on my earring. Okay, so we'll just talk with that. All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to spend the month of December, the very last month of this year 2020, focusing on the gifts of the season. And it's not gifts that we have to deserve, but gifts that are automatically given to us. And just for the record, we're not talking about physical gifts. We are talking about metaphysical gifts. That's what we want to deepen into. Those are the true ones. I shared a quote from last week from Ernest Holmes in his Science of Mind textbook that I'd like to repeat again. He wrote, "The gift of heaven comes to all alike. How we shall use the gifts is all that matters." So we all have all of these metaphysical gifts that I speak of, but how are we using it? So this morning, I'm inviting you to ask yourself two important questions. One, what gifts of God, of spirit, gifts of the universe, am I open to receive? And then the second question, how shall I use these gifts? Remember, to own it, you got to give it away. So how should I use these gifts? And what is the gift for today? It's the gift of peace. It's the gift of peace. Greg Braden, in his book, The Isaiah Effect, speaks of having an audience with the abbot in a monastery, a Tibetan monastery. And he asked the abbot, if there was one message that you could share with the people of the earth, what would it be? And what would you like us to do to carry out using this gift outside of ourselves? And the abbot's reply was simple. He said, peace is of the greatest importance in our world today. It is in the absence of peace we lose what we have gained. In the presence of peace, all things are possible. Peace is the source of all things, he said. I would ask the people of the world to find peace within themselves so that they may mirror that peace out into the world. So to find the peace within ourselves, then we can mirror that peace, to remain in a place of that calm that only true peace can bring. Are you willing to find the gift of peace within? That's what we are choice to do, to find the gift of peace within. And then are you willing to mirror it out to the world? Or in other words, consistent with our two questions for the month, are you open to receive the gift of peace? And number two, how shall you use this gift of peace? Let me tell you, friends, the peace is truly a gift that we give to ourselves. It's always been the one quality of the divine that I've resonated with the most, to be at peace. Because then truly all other things are added unto one. If you're not at peace, you can't experience joy. You can't experience love. You can't experience all of those other spiritual gifts that we have within us. And let me tell you, especially right now in this year of 2020, this incredible up and down and in and out and all kinds of stuff year. We really need to connect with that indwelling peace, as difficult sometimes as it may seem. In our political environment, in the cry for racial equality, and in the midst of a viral pandemic, peace is of utmost importance. We must truly remain in that place of peace. And so then you ask yourself, what are my thoughts and feelings about peace, real peace? If we truly want peace on earth, It must begin with us, just like the song said, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. It can't begin with anyone else. It must begin with us, with ourselves. And now is the time to truly practice that entire concept of choosing peace. I choose peace. In the chaos of life, I choose peace. I choose to remain, and you can do this. It's a great practice. I choose to remain centered in peace itself. And if you forget, which I do once in a while, you can always call yourself back. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound peaceful to me. So take a breath and pull yourself back into the peace. Jesus told his disciples, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. My peace I leave to you. My peace I give to you. My peace I give to you. No matter what circumstance is occurring in our lives, let not your heart be troubled. Let not. Surely it knows that it will pass. It doesn't feel like it. Right now, it doesn't feel like anything's passing, but it will pass. It is passing. The only thing that is constant is that divine nature that is within each and every one of us. That doesn't pass, thank God. That doesn't change. That's what our teaching is based on, this infinite unity of oneness. That divinity within us, which is peace, is always constant. It's there waiting to be recognized. And that is the empowerment of the spiritual teaching that I absolutely love. On a cloudy day, though it doesn't look like the sun shining, but is not the sun always present? It's always present. Even though you can't see it, it's there, shining. In Vedic traditions, which gave rise to Buddhism and to Hinduism, it says, the heart and mind can find peace and harmony by contemplating the transcendental nature of the true self of supreme, brilliant, radiant light. God is light, infinite light. Light contains all intelligence. Light radiates itself. Inner peace can only show up when we recognize the truth of our nature. We must recognize, in fact, Ernest Holmes tells us this, a realization of our oneness with omnipresence, the all-present, brings peace. Just if we can connect and align and just recognize and have faith that there is a presence so much more powerful than we are, and when we connect with that, that's when I found true peace in my life, because I kept trying to do it other ways. And I of myself, as it said, can do nothing. It's the Father within. And always that Father within is peace itself. The heart and the mind can find peace by contemplating that oneness of all life. Because when we move to peace, when we move to that place of peace, we're recognizing that oneness. We're recognizing the omnipresence. And then we have self-acceptance. And that self-acceptance of who we are. First, let's start there. To accept who we are leads to peace. If we are not happy with who we are, then we will never experience peace in life. We cannot give away what we do not have. So we must be the peace in order to show and mirror the peace to everyone. When Henry David Thoreau was dying, his aunt, Louisa, asked him if he had ever made peace with God. And he answered, I did not know that God and I had ever quarreled. Perfect example. This divinity doesn't recognize any opposition to itself. You cannot give away, as I said, what you do not have. If you are not at peace with yourself, you cannot mirror that peace out to the world. So make the decision to forgive yourself. Because always it's going to start with forgiveness. Everything starts with forgiveness. You cannot have peace if you are bearing grudges, resentments, if you are bearing anger towards others, then you cannot experience this gift. And it is a gift of peace. And so do not go back and dig up within yourself or relive the past. We know this, but we need to be reminded of it over and over again. Reliving the past will not bring peace. And then projecting into the future will never bring peace. Not usually anyway. Our ego just loves to go into the future because that's where all the worry can be, in the future. So we stay grounded in this moment, right here, right now. We're all here together in this room talking about peace, just being with like-minded folks and talking about the oneness of God. To me, that's peace, right here, right now. When you make peace with yourself, you take a hard look at everything you have ever done, and you remind yourself that you needed all of those experiences to become who you are right now on this spiritual journey, because no matter what it is in the human realm, it's still a spiritual journey because we still have the heart and essence and soul of the divine within us. Making peace with yourself or acceptance doesn't mean that you're not willing to change, but the self-acceptance comes before the change can occur. There was a passage in Science of Mind magazine a couple of years ago that I put in my file that says, accomplishing love or self is easier than it sounds. It means accepting ourselves exactly as we are, admitting the things we've done that haven't helped celebrate the things that we did, and being willing to be responsible for our choices from this point forward. We can only take our choices from this point forward, to make them conscious choices, not to anymore live in a default kind of choice, which is what I did before these teachings. And the hardest thing I ever did was to learn how to forgive myself, because I didn't think I did anything wrong. Because when you're a victim, you didn't do anything wrong. Everyone else did it to you. So the forgiveness work for me that I embarked on a long time ago was key to letting go of the heaviness of that resentment and the old story. So we need to forgive ourselves first. Emmett Fox wrote, "Peace of mind first, and all things will follow on that." Peace of mind first. So where do you not have peace of mind about yourself, about the world, about all of this, all of these different circumstances that are all going on at one time, so that we can shift? This is the paradigm shift. And we kept saying, because it was intuitive, and a lot of people were getting that same hit. Oh yeah, there's a big paradigm shift happening, and no one said it was going to be easy, did they? Well, guess what? Happening right now. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. So how can we practice these principles that we teach? And the peace being the most important, always return to peace, no matter what takes place. And it doesn't mean not to take inspired action. It doesn't mean that. Because it's only then that you can give the gift of peace or mirror it out to the world, as the abbot told Craig Braden. And that brings us to the second point. Mirror our peace out into the world. Thomas Merton wrote this: "If you are at peace, then there is at least some peace in the world." Think about that. Just you. Then there's some peace in the world. Then share your peace with everyone, and everyone will be at peace. As I said earlier, there is so much discord going on right now, and we can take the actions we are inspired to take and remain at the same time in that state of peace. My biggest inspiration always, when I think about that, is the Dalai Lama. I mean, this is a man that witnessed horrendous acts, who was thrown out of his country that he loved so much, thrown out of it. And so many people killed and tortured. But he preaches, he tells everyone, my religion is kindness. This is a man, oh, I'm getting God bumps on that one. This is a man of true inspiration. If he can do it, can we not do it? It's a choice, again, a choice. We must remain in charge of our viewing, what we view, our viewing ability. Because we all see the same picture of discord. We can see that, or we can see the picture of peace in the middle of this discord. Look for that ray of sunshine, that ray of hope, and focus on peace. We can turn to the peacemakers and the way showers, just as I think about the Dalai Lama. When I think I can't forgive this, I go to the Dalai Lama. And look what he did. You can apply these peace principles in your lives and in our nation today. We need not stick our heads in the sand like an ostrich. We're not saying that. Things are going on in the world. We need to know. We need to make informed, wise decisions. The political unrest, the disease, the many diseases that are taking place, but we can look at it all through the lens. You choose which lens in your camera. We can do it through the lens of peace. We can forgive. We can choose not to resist evil by giving all of our attention, all from these practices of peace. And you know that we define evil as erroneous thinking, wrong thinking, where we're not in alignment with the divine thinking. One mind, God's mind, each of our minds, all of the time, all of the time. This from Wayne Dyer. If enough of us shied away from confrontation, just imagine how much war we could eliminate. And that's war of all kinds. Confrontation in our family lives, in our friends' lives, on the planet. Confrontation, when we shy away from it and hold a light of peace. It doesn't make you a doormat. Just remember that. Peace is powerful. We are being empowered by these spiritual truths that we talk about every week. And just remember that it is empowering, the power of peace. Try taking a breather. Try taking a breather from your habit of continuously looking. Some people do this for non-peaceful situations. Go to that quiet, serene, peaceful place within you. That's where the breath takes me. Just taking a deep breath really, truly helps center. It does for me, and I think it does for most people. That place within you that is covered by these outer layers of material life, because we're having a human experience. Remember that. It is from here that you can mirror peace. Here, your emphasis is on giving rather than receiving peace. The more we give peace, the more we receive peace, but we have to be in a place of peace. When you are mirroring peace to the world, you are not seeking anything. You are a peace provider. You do not seek peace by looking into the lives of others and wishing they would change. Well, if this so-and-so would change, I know my life would be filled with peace. Just if this politician wasn't around, I know my life would be filled with peace. If this situation wasn't around, I would be so filled with peace. If this pandemic wasn't around, I would be so filled with peace. Really? How long has it been around? Less than a year. Were you at peace before that? These are questions for self-reflection for all of us. The stakes are very high now. For those we love, for our world, for our future generation. Let us do whatever we need to do to dive into and enthusiastically embrace peace in all of its guises, and spread its healing energy everywhere we go. As a spiritual being, how are you embracing this gift, this holiday season, and any season? But right now, we're in the middle of Hanukkah, and we're embarking upon Christmas. So how are we? And many other religions are celebrating. We have Kwanzaa coming up. Many other religions are celebrating, but they're mostly celebrating peace and light. How are we being the peace and the light in this world? Peace within ourselves, within our family. This is a spiritual gift that is all too often missing from our lives. Think about some relatives you might have known that were never, ever in a state of peace. I think about that, just come to me now. Never had that gift of peace in their lives. They always tortured themselves. So giving ourselves the gift of peace is such a precious, precious gift. And then giving it to the world may be, and sometimes it feels like a challenge, but it may be the greatest gift, it probably is, that we should ever give or ever receive. And guess what? It starts with one thought, one step in the direction of that quality of peace. Set the intention right here today, for as often as you can, to remember to breathe and choose peace. So I say in this holiday season, blessings of peace to each and every one of us.